Hello and welcome to an update of the mating game. So we are going to start our update as we usually do with the European Nightcrawler bin. These guys have been going strong. I can't say that I'm too disappointed in them. The material feels really nice and moist. And these guys are getting big. It is spring, so, and there's a cocoon right there. Looking like it's amber color, so I'm gonna get some more wormies out of that. And where did you guys go? Where are all my worms? I swear I can more easily find these guys in a large 10-gallon bin than I can in these tiny 3-gallon ones. Oh, here's another cocoon right there. That's a lighter colored one. Oh, here's another one right, if my glove is not going to. Another one right there. So, I mean, they're doing their thing. They really are, but where are they? Oh, okay. Here they are. Here are some young ones. Here is an adult. I was beginning to wonder about you guys. Here they are. Here they are. That's where we fed, so I guess that's where they've been congregating. So yeah, here they all are. Okay. Phew, I was kind of worried there for a second. Okay, we'll feed you guys. We will feed you. Let's see, we'll pick a corner. Since we fed you in here, let's feed you guys in here. I have 2 ounces. So far, 2 ounces of food is working out well. And I'm not going to increase it just yet, at least not until I see more worms. After all, I want them to work over the bedding as well, not just the kitchen scraps. And there's plenty of bedding here for them to work over, that's for sure. And of course, cap full of oyster shell, keeping everything nice and pH neutral, and the grit that they need to digest their food. So these guys are doing good, actually. I'm seeing new cocoons, so I'm happy. Let's go over to the red wiggler bin. Here is our red wiggler bin. Everything seems to be looking good at first glance. And these guys, of course, the minute you start lifting up the bedding, you can see them right away. What a difference between the wigglers and the European Nightcrawlers. At least in this experiment, I have another experiment that I'm doing as a side experiment to the mating game, where I have a 10-gallon bin that I also started with the same amount of European Nightcrawlers. And that bin is doing much better than the 3-gallon one. I have more cocoons, more worms, more babies. So go figure. but a lot of babies here, a lot of juvenile worms, cocoons. These guys are just doing a fabulous, fabulous job. Look at all that. And this feels moist, so I think this is where we fed. Oh yeah, look at that. Jackpot! Really great. What a difference. What a difference. You know, and if I have more worms, they're probably going to do a faster job at composting the bedding than they would in the European nightcrawler bin. Definitely happy with this bin. So we'll do the same thing here. Oops. And look at this tiny, tiny, tiny guy. It's like a hair. They're so thin. Okay, so these guys are getting their 2 ounces of melon. Come on, gotta get every last drop out of here. And their oyster shell. And we'll cover that up. There you go, guys. The food is served. Okay, so these guys are doing great. Not unexpected. Let's go over to our Perionyx bin. Here we are. This is our Perionyx, or the blue worms. And everything seems to look good on the surface. Again, these guys, just like the red wigglers, they are incredibly prolific. Just making sure everything looks good before we go into the area where we fed. And I'm looking that, again, this bin is just a little bit on the dry side, drier than I would like it. So I'm going to give it a little bit of water when I'm done filming, because I like my bins to be just a little bit more moist for the worms, not for me, for the wormies. Here's where we fed, and this is where all the moisture is, and of course this is where all the wormies are. Look at these guys. You see? They also have this flash of blue, purple, violet. They're actually very pretty worm. And look how many there are. Babies, you name it. Everything from babies through adult. Just concentrated in that area over there where it's moist. Okay, we're going to feed you guys in the corner there. Very, very happy with these worms. They are a bit finicky when it comes to the perfect conditions. They can easily crawl on you at the first sign of rain, or if something is not to their liking. But if everything is good and balanced, these guys will just do great work for you in composting and multiplying. So let's go over to our African nightcrawler bin, which is our final bin, and we'll wrap this up. Here is our African nightcrawler bin. And everything seems nice and moist in here. I can see the younger worms here, those that were hatched here. Quite a few of them. I'm really happy how this bin is doing. They're doing a lot better than the European nightcrawlers. You see all these little young worms. They have a ways to go before they can call themselves adults. All of these guys, all of them were born here. And where's my adult? Still, I'm seeing only the younger worms. The adults are probably where we fed. All these guys are looking good. And the baby. It's hard to spot cocoons. And just as I said that, here is a cocoon next to the baby. Okay, so this is where we fed. And you can see a lot more of the worms here as well, because it's nice and moist in here for them. Yes, not seeing any of the parents. What happened to my big guys? Well, here's one. Here is one. I'm sorry. Don't mean to bother you. Okay. So feeding in the corner. So I'm really happy with the way these guys are going. They have reproduced, and are composting the bedding. Will be interesting to see, since in my experience, my African nightcrawlers love carbon, and they do a really awesome job at composting carbon faster than other worms that I have. So it will be interesting to see if they will process the material. I've seen quite a few actually cocoons in here now that I look at it. They process the material faster, so we'll see. We'll see which worm not only I'm losing my train of thought as I'm trying to concentrate on two things at the same time. Don't want to take any babies out. Yeah, I would like to see which worm will compost the bedding faster. So yeah, that was our update. They're doing great, all of them. Again, I don't think we have changed positions. I think the blue and the red worms are tied for first place. And then we have the African night crawlers, and the European night crawlers so far are in the last place. We'll see what happens by the time this experiment is finished. And we'll see you next week. Thanks for joining me.